Alright, welcome guys. Today is a little bit more of a casual video, but what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be building a custom mechanical keyboard. Now, custom keyboards obviously aren't new, but I enjoy keyboards. I enjoy building custom ones, and I figured today I will show you kind of the angle I wanted to hit for this one, was showing you a really nice budget mechanical keyboard that is fully custom. You can use it with whatever switches you want, whatever keycaps you want. It's going to be great. So I'm going to go over my parts, and then I will start assembling it, and I'll give you a little sound test at the end. So over the holiday, I'm recording this in mid-January, but over the holiday, last Christmas, I went on mechanicalkeyboards.com just because I like to peruse and see what sales they have, and they had this chassis on sale. I think it was 40% off or something, and I got it for $35. So this is the Meko push case. So this is a case. It actually does have RGB backlighting, which is pretty cool. The rest of it is actually pretty standard, detachable USB-C cable. Little bit on the cheaper side, but I'll show you a little bit about that when we open it up. So let's go ahead and open it up and take a look at it here. So I thought that this was pretty cool. You know, I've done some mechanical keyboard content in the past. I've reviewed some pre-built keyboards that are pretty nice. I've reviewed some really cheap mechanical keyboards you can get on Amazon from China that all use, the same switches and the same keycap legend and, basically all the same parts. So I thought about this one. I'll show you that kind of next step up, after you get your first keyboard and start tinkering with it, maybe replace the switches and stuff. It's time to start getting a little bit more premium and start building your own. But you can even building your own. People think like, if you want to build your own mechanical keyboard, it's got to cost like $400. No, it doesn't. You can do it for very cheap, very reasonable, very affordable. It's nice. So this is our PCB and our case. So it actually comes with the stabilizers. These are clear. You can see at the top of each of our little sockets are our RGB lights. We also have on the sides here some RGB lighting strips as well. Now, I was initially kind of confused when I got this product, because if you look at the bottom, what do you see or not see on the bottom? Not the USB dongle, that's in there somewhere. You don't see feet. You see these rubber feet, but you don't have any adjustable height feet to make it stand up taller on the desk. There's actually a fix for that. You also have off and on. I believe that's for toggling the RGB mode, or having the RGB lights off or on, I believe. We'll test that once we actually get this built. So, but this is it. This costs $35. You got a little bit of branding on the bottom and on this side too. You're not really going to see those though, so I don't really mind it that much. Again, this outside is chassis. This chassis is plastic, so it's not metal or anything like that. It seems pretty kind of... it's pretty standard for what you would expect. It kind of feels like a Red Dragon keyboard in terms of the type of plastic. In terms of flex, there's virtually zero flex on this, so that's pretty nice. Very rigid. I can actually tell that there's a metal, it's got a steel plate in the middle right there, so that's keeping it from flexing. That's very nice to have. This can take both 3 and 5-pin switches. So your Kale, your Cherry, your Gateron, it can do whatever you want. So that's one of the things that's really nice about these custom keyboards. The cheap ones that you get from China, you can only use Otemus because the pinholes are so small. With this, it's a lot more flexible. You can use a much wider variety of switches. Very, very nice. On one of my other ones, I have Kale Jades, and I love those. They're like a lighter version of the Cherry MX Blue. They're so great. Love my Kale Jades. Don't have any more for this. I didn't want to sink a ton of money into this, so not using those, but they're a very nice switch. But yeah, this is going to be our PCB. I got it for $35 on sale. That's what I would recommend you pay for it. I think it retails for like $70 or something like that. I would not pay that for this, just because you can get something a little bit nicer for this. I should also mention, if you couldn't tell from this, this is a 65% layout. So I'm going for 65%. I actually like the 65%. Comes with a little instruction manual. The reason why I like the 65% is because it's perfect for me and my particular use case. So got our detachable USB-C cable. There we go. It's white to match the case. Oh, it also came in black if you wanted a black one as well. And then, haha, well, there we are. We have our magnetic, removable, height adjustable feet. Awesome. Love to see that. I will put those on there. Actually, I just dropped them. Okay. Anyway, the reason why I love switch puller, love the little extras that comes with it. And then finally, keycap puller. Let me finish this thought. Jesus. The reason why I am such a fan of the 65% layout is that it's the smallest you can go while still maintaining your arrow keys. Now, I have to have arrow keys. I use them for browsing websites. I use them for navigating, for scrolling on like YouTube and things like that. I have to have my arrow keys. And 65% is the lowest you can go while still keeping them. So that's nice. I have a couple other keyboards. I think they might be 67% actually. Are they 65 or 67? I'd have to double check. But either way, they're small enough that you get... Here's how the magnetic feet work, by the way. Just that simple. Love it. But they're small, so they're very portable, and you can get a lot more mouse space on your desk because the keyboard is so small, so it gives you more room. But I can still keep my arrow keys, which I personally need. I love that. I love it. I don't have to compromise on anything. It gets rid of the keys that I don't really use that much. Actually, the one key I kind of use that I don't remember if this has or not is delete. But if it is, it's fine. It's not a deal breaker. Still a fantastic, fantastic size. So that is our chassis that I've kind of been gushing over for the longest time here. That is our chassis. Now we got to put some switches into it. Now, again, like I said, you can use whatever you want here, but I'm going to be going with these. These are some brown switches that I just kind of had laying around. These came off of another mechanical keyboard that I had. I got one of those cheap ones from China that I was reviewing a while ago, the $15 keyboard. These came off of it. The brand is, if I look here, I'm pretty sure the brand, it's hard to see, hold on. Yeah, the brand is Red Dragon. So these are Red Dragon branded brown switches. They are tactile and not clicky. I'm pretty sure these are just rebadged Otemus because they have the exact same pin size. The only difference is that with Otemus, the bottom casing is not black, it's white. These are black bottom casing. So, it is what it is, but I'm sure that they just came off of a Red Dragon keyboard. So I'm going to be utilizing those. I should have just enough for this. And then I had a couple extra from, I think, a previous build or something. And I think these are actually real Otemus, right? Yes, these are real Otemu switches. So these are what you would find in those Chinese cheap keyboards. So I also had some stabilizers from another keyboard that I thought I might need, but this comes with them. And I believe that these stabilizers on this chassis are already lubed and maybe clipped. I'm not sure, so I don't have to do that, so that's nice. These switches are not lubed. Like I said, I'm not going to go through the trouble because this is intended to be a budget keyboard, and if you are building a budget mechanical keyboard, you probably don't need to lube up your switches, at least not for a first-time build. So let me get all of these switches put into the chassis, and I will be right back. Got it loaded up with switches. Sounds good. They're pretty cheap switches, so they're going to feel a little bit pingy. I believe that this case actually has a foam pad in between the metal plate and the PCB. You don't get that on cheaper keyboards, but this is a pre-made case, so it's a little bit more premium than a $15 mechanical keyboard. So that's pretty nice. So it's going to dampen some of that sound, which is pretty good. So that is our case done. We'll get the switches put on that, which reminds me to talk to you guys about the switches. So these switches are from XVX PBT keycaps, of course. That's the best kind. Now, I have used this brand in the past. I'm not sponsored. I'm not getting paid to say this, but I personally love these switches, or these keycaps. They feel so good. They feel so premium. And what I love is that they take into account the different types of key layouts that you have. So for example, it's not on this particular case, but on some cases, you can see it in here with this bag here. What you will see is there are different sizes for different space bars, different shift keys. I think it's 1.5U or 1.75U. Basically, different layouts are going to have different space constraints for your keycaps. So these sets from XVX are going to include, see, there you have a long shift, for example. They're going to include all of the necessary miscellaneous keys that you could ever need. And they come in great colors. So for example, with this set, it is light and dark gray. And then for accent colors, you have navy blue or sky blue. So I can choose all these different colors and mix and match to get whatever I love. I love that about these. You are paying a bit of a premium for these. I believe this box was about as much as the case. So I think it was like $30 or $35. So you do have to pay a bit of a premium, but they're PBT keycaps. You're going to get a full keyboard's worth no matter what layout you're using, because like I said, they cover all of your bases. So it doesn't matter. So like, see, for example, right here. See that? Look at that. That's 2 different size space bars depending on what you're using, and another long shift key. So it does not matter what size keyboard you're using, they are going to have you covered. So XVX is the keycap brand that I use. I will have them linked in the description if you want to go check them out. They have a bunch of good colorways on Amazon. It was kind of tough for me. I was thinking of what kind of color combination I would want to go with white, and I eventually decided on gray, but gray on white by itself was kind of boring, so I decided to throw in a little bit of blue just to kind of give it a little bit of a pop. So yeah, I think that's going to look very good, so I'm going to get the keycaps put on now. And it's done! We have a finished product. So this is our keyboard. If the keys sound a little bit tingy, I think it's just because that I'm using these brown switches from Red Dragon that are kind of cheap, and they're just designed that way. They're pretty cheap switches. They probably could do with some lube, but again, this is a budget-oriented keyboard, so this is just assuming, you know, you have very kind of baseline parts. So I think it's okay. But if I'm going to upgrade this in the future, I'm definitely going to get me some nice, like, Kale tactile switches. I'm sure there's some good ones out there that I can use. Just have to get them ordered. But I just wanted to go ahead and use the parts that I already had on hand, just to make sure that, you know, I'm using everything I got and I'm not wasting anything. So, yeah, this is my budget keyboard that I'm going to be using for the time being. Like I said, it comes with the braided cable, but up until now, I've been going back to my Razer Black Widow, so this is going to be a very nice upgrade over that. So why don't I get it plugged in, and we can do a little typing test for you. So there you have it, guys. That is my custom mechanical keyboard on a budget using the Meko chassis. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think that this is a pretty good value. Altogether, all told, between the switches, the chassis, and the keycaps, probably about a $70 board. All things considered, $70 to $80, depending on how cheap you can get some of the parts for on sale or whatever. So, you know, obviously you can get cheaper mechanical keyboards on Amazon for like $15, $20 if you really want a cheap one, but I think that something like this is pretty cool because you can change the keycaps and the switches, removable USB-C cable if you like that sort of thing, being able to use your own cable if you want. I think that all of that is pretty important and pretty cool. So yeah, very happy with how this turned out. I think it looks pretty good. But let me know what you guys think down below. I think that if you want to get into mechanical keyboards, this is a great starting place, especially considering your Corsair, your Razer, your Logitech, SteelSeries, your generic kind of gaming brands. I think that something like this is going to do a lot more for you, teach you how to build mechanical keyboards, kind of get you into the hobby. You can use whatever kind of switches you want. They're not going to be soldered. They're hot swap. I think it's great. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.